All right, it's the rundown. Wednesday, May 24th, brought to you by the Barstool Store. Look, Father's Day is coming up, and the Barstool Store has plenty of awesome stuff that'll make your dad feel young and cool. I feel like dads are the hardest to buy for. I know every Father's Day, my dad just like, yeah, a Barstool shirt is fine. So you could do the same. Everything we've got is cost effective and will make your dad feel like he's still one of the guys and gets it. This is really all he wants and something he can't buy on his own. Here are some of my favorites from the store. We got the Dad Rope Hats, the Polo Quarter Zips, the best tasting coffee in Stella Blue. They just released their cold brew yesterday. It's absolutely delicious. And a lot more. You can shop now at store.barstoolsports.com. Once again, Father's Day, store.barstoolsports.com. All right, the big three, me,
Yep.
Nadu, Pat. I think John Rich might have done a randomizer out of a hat for this trio. I don't know how this came, but boys, what's up?
What up?
Well, we have chemistry, Tommy. I know that. And I think me and Jeff have a rapport that's kind of just an unspoken mutual respect. So I understand where John Rich's head is at. I think he's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Me and Jeff are looked at as two of the biggest bachelors, playboys in the
Good
office
point.
too. So
Yeah, that's true.
it does
You get
all it
any,
does kind of all fit.
you get any pussy lately, Jeff?
Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Strange or someone you knew or
Yeah, regular.
oh
First in
gosh.
my new house, though. She liked it.
When you mean
Nice.
like a regular customer, like
She's a regular chick, yes.
How many
yeah,
regulars do
got
you
it.
have on your roster?
3 right now.
But it could go up. It fluctuates between maybe like 3 and 5 or like
Mm, I try to stay around 3. You get too many, you lose track of who you're talking to and stuff like that.
that.
What are the top 3 days of the week to have sex?
Monday's number one.
Really?
Yeah,
Monday?
yeah, because you start the week off right. Mondays are down, but when you have that like, hey, it's 7 o'clock, broad's coming over. It's a good night. You look forward to Mondays a little bit more. It sets your week up. You get a release. You
Okay.
feel good. Probably weekdays to me. I'm not a big weekend guy as far as that's concerned because I don't want to be drunk when I'm doing that. That ain't real. I don't like that.
Hmm.
All right. The more you
Monday's
know.
the dope. You got to try it out, Tommy. Pat, you
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. That's usually last on my list, I would say.
Give it a try. It'll change your life.
Mondays I just do laundry at night. All right. Celtics beat the Heat 116-99, avoid a sweep. 66-43 outscored him in the second half. Tatum had 33 points. Game 5, stay alive.
I'm so fired up. I may walk to Boston right now. The Garden's going to be jumping. It's going to be jumping on Thursday. Let's go. Celtics 7.
This could be, I mean, that's a huge win because now you're going back to Boston. And then all of a sudden, if it's 3-2, then it starts to creep in a little bit of like they could do this. Pat, I know you're a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
Is optimism striking?
Oh, I mean, we're winning in 7. I mean, it's not even a question. I mean, the second they showed A-Rod and Jeter, and then they showed the photo from 2004, they just created a curse on the air. We already had we're not going to get swept. Like the Celtics are not going to get swept by any team. I mean, this is a team that went to Game 6 last year in the finals. Granted, we don't have a coach now, which makes things a little bit more tough to get going. But once they showed that photo and they showed Jeter and A-Rod, who don't they hate each other?
I think they've made some amends. I think they don't love each other, but it seems like they've made some amends.
I mean, and then that just reinstated the curse. And then I see online the Why Not Us start to pop up. Now, Tommy, you were in diapers back in '04 when this happened.
No, I remember it vividly. I bawled my eyes out.
That was one of the greatest sporting years of my life. So I think we're gonna go back to Boston. I think we're gonna go 2-6, which will be our biggest hurdle. If we can get it back to 7 in Boston, we're going to the championship.
They
But
finally started making shots, luckily. They couldn't make
right,
anything
exactly.
first 3 games. Then they start making shots. Look, Joe Mazzulla stinks, and you're right. They are without a coach because essentially Marcus Smart's on the bench coaching the team. Joe Mazzulla's a lost cause. That was a bad hire. But, yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, Pat, when I saw the Jeter, the little celebrity sighting thing. What I thought of.
I thought that was, I mean, not that A-Rod and Jeter really give a fuck about the Miami Heat, I assume. I mean, I think they're both kind of live in Miami, but I assume they're not diehard Heat fans. But to be there, like knowing the 3-0 narrative, like against a Boston team, I'm almost surprised they did. It almost seems like the Celtics paid them to go, like just to get that juju in the air. Like I was shocked that they were there, but I guess at the end of the day, they're like, well, I don't really care if the Celtics come back. Like that probably is their thinking. But
I'm also so mad that I knew we were gonna win, and I should have followed Hank's bet on the sports book. It was like plus 105. He put $4,000 down and won like 8,300. I was like, I need to throw something on this game because it's just a lock. They're not gonna win, but I didn't. But I mean, going back to Boston, is Dave gonna be at the game in Boston?
I
Probably,
believe
right?
so.
Do you think he's gonna get? We actually had him on Out and About. Is coming out next week, and he was talking about the hate that he got on Twitter when they showed him.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was wild. So I would imagine if he's going to go there, he's not going to be behind the scores table. He's going to be on the wood. But I hope they show him again. So,
By the way, speaking of celebrities, I just want to say this: Joey Kamasti, your partner, is strikingly resembling Jeremy Piven at this point. Did you see his sighting? They look dead alike, I think.
I gotta look that up.
Jeremy
Piven,
like
like
the
Ari from Entourage?
Yeah, they showed him in like the celebrity thing last night.
That's
Joey Kamast and him are like twins. He almost
I actually could kind of see it.
look at the outfit he was wearing last night too.
I think he's more Big Cat than anyone.
I thought of Kamasta right away.
I think Jeremy's just has like the same shaped face and has a beard. I think that's why you're saying that.
I don't know. I thought of him right away.
How's things with you and Costa?
Me and Kamasta? Listen, I saw a picture of Kamasta. Look, I'm very confident in who I am. Good looking guy, man. I mean, when he gets dressed up, I mean, he is stunningly good looking. Shout out to Joey.
Yeah.
Only got to see my dick in that office, by the way.
I remember that's what I was leading towards. Yeah, you should tell that story.
Well, yeah. So, as I've said before, a unknown females used my private part on her OnlyFans, and she told me after the fact. So it was a big thing back in the day, a couple months ago. Glennie was on the case trying to find it, and I went up to the office, and Joey, said, "Hey, can I see it?" And I said, "Oh, all right, I don't mind." So I showed him, and he was a bit approving of it.
Nice.
Said it was.
Did that never got public though? That tape, right? Or
no, I said if it did, I would say it was me, but no one ever located it.
There was one that everybody thought that wasn't correct.
I don't know that I heard about that, but
I thought that was the thing at the time.
Well, no, and then I got some teacher at one point on OnlyFans that had this like grading scale where she graded dicks. I had her grade mine, and it took it a different way. But yeah, Joey's seen it.
What did she grade it?
An A, not an A plus, but an A.
Oh.
I published a report card.
Should know for achiever.
You take an A. All right, moving on from Jeff's dick to the NHL. Vegas beats Dallas last night. They go up 3-0 in the series. A lot of penalties, a lot of controversial penalties, some dumb penalties. Kind of the highlight being 21 seconds left in the second period. Dallas player Max Domi makes another dirty hit, given 10 minutes. Fans so upset in Dallas with the call that they littered the ice with trash. Refs had to end the second period early, didn't even play out the final 21 seconds. I'm almost surprised that this doesn't happen more across all of sports. Hockey's probably the easiest, maybe because you're closest, but I feel like even baseball, NBA, football would probably be difficult. But when fans are just really mad, and I'm not encouraging this, but when fans are just really mad, to just throw a bunch of shit on the field and try to get a stoppage or something.
Look, I feel pretty bad for them fans. I mean, the 5-minute penalty, 2 minutes into the game is rough. And look, I'll say this, that 5-minute penalty, I don't watch hockey really, but I didn't know that you can score as many times as you want. Like, that's ruthless, right? To usually on a power play, isn't it just end? On a 5-minute, it just keeps running, and that's rough. I think that's the difference between
a major and a
minor, yeah. And aren't the Domies known as scumbags? Wasn't his father a complete scumbag as well?
Ty Domi?
Yeah. They're Albanian, by the way. I mean, shout out to the Albanians out there, but
shout out Albania.
Yeah, I feel like he's a scumbag, the Domies, aren't they?
I don't know. They're friends with Erica. So I don't want to say anything.
Sorry. Really? No, they're great.
No, I've always loved them.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. I don't know. I think about fans who throw things on the ice, not to bring it back to, or on the ice field, whatever, not to bring it back to the Celtics. But I mean, Tommy, you remember 2004, the Yankees fans threw everything on the field after A-Rod, pretended that, he got hit, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean, that was, a controversial call.
Very controversial. I don't know. Are they scumbag fans?
I would think no. Like, to me, Dallas hockey fans, I would imagine, are not the most passionate bunch.
Yeah.
By the way, let's just be honest. If this was Philadelphia, this would be a national story on every fucking channel.
Well, people expect
Philly,
it from
Boston, New York, like any of the Northeast cities would be like, oh, this is just scumbag fans.
I could see
But
Cowboy
also,
fans doing this, but like
when people
Yeah.
call that out, like they like it, like on the Northeast. Like I love when a fan base acts like a piece of shit, like lives up to their name. Like if Philly fans are throwing things on the field, they're living up to their name. I love that. Like if Yankees fans are, being Yankees fans, just
Bronx Goombas.
yeah, Goombas, blah, 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 throwing things on the field. I love that because they live up to their name. Maybe this one isn't getting a lot of attention just because it's like, okay, Dallas like tried their hand at being like a scumbag fan base and like it didn't really do anything. But I don't even know anyone's watching that. Like, are people watching this? What is this? The Western Conference Finals for fucking hockey?
Yeah, it's like 3-0. Both the hockey. I mean, you want to talk about maybe the worst conference finals of all time? You got the Panthers and the Hurricanes. Panthers are up 3-0, and then the
well, the NBA could have been the same
room
thing
with you,
last
Pat?
night. The
Pat, is
NBA,
somebody in the room with you?
yeah, there's
Someone
somebody
in the room with you, Pat?
Yeah, Booze is filming something for a episode of my show that I have to do.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, is there like a ghost in the room with Pat? Hey, Bruce. All right, next up, we got Max Kellerman's ESPN show, This Just In, getting replaced by former Barstool employee Pat McAfee. Signed that 4-year, $120 million deal. Is going to replace his daily afternoon show. Good for Pat McAfee. Unfortunate for Max Kellerman.
It's been a rough couple of years for Kellerman, I feel like. He was on the top like 5 years ago, I feel like. Now he's like, what? And for good reason. I mean, Pat McAfee's a fucking star, but Max Kellerman, rough road of it last couple of months, years.
Who is the current host of First Take? Is it Max Kellerman?
No, it's isn't it Chris Russo and Stephen A?
Chris Russo, I thought was only on like once or twice a week.
Because I've seen him anytime I watch it, he's always on. Maybe
It's definitely Stephen A.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
who
Stephen A for sure, but this
maybe
is
JJ Redick,
Kendrick Perkins.
I see JJ Redick on there a lot. I don't think he's the permanent host. Oh no,
Max used to be on there, wasn't he?
How much time did Max have left on his contract? Do we know?
Mm-mm.
I do not know that.
Is it just one of these things where like if your show gets canceled, you just get paid out no matter what? And it's like, okay, he'll just get picked up by the next network. So he can maybe double dip on his fucking salary for the next couple of years. Like that's not a bad guy to lose to. Pat McAfee.
No.
I feel like he's been on like an upward trajectory. If it's, some nobody who's taken over, you got something to worry about. But I feel like no one's complaining or upset that Pat McAfee has taken their spot. And I just want to know if he's taking his whole team with him. He's got to be, right?
I would imagine so, yeah.
Is that
so I'm looking now. It seems like it's just Stephen A and then a rotating second chair.
Does Molly Karam still host it? Like she's
like the moderator or whatever.
The Casey Smith of the show, if you will.
Yes.
30 mil a year, not bad.
Right? Did you ever talk to McAfee when he was here, Tom? Like have any sort of relationship with him?
Yeah, I once when he played that minor league baseball game in Washington, Pennsylvania, like rural Pennsylvania, I went there to announce it because they were doing this like video, and it was like right after it was like maybe a couple months after I was full time, and I went there like in a suit to do play-by-play with him and some of his like other co-hosts, and then I almost got stranded there because they were going to a private flight. They had like a private flight back to India or whatever. I was staying at a hotel like 45 minutes away from the field, which is in the middle of nowhere, and I just could not get an Uber because we were in like, I think it was a rural Pittsburgh, and I just was, the whole field was shutting down. It was like me and 3 players left. Finally, an Uber came and picked me up, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, I can't take you to that hotel. Like it's near the airport." And I said, "Just get me out of here. Just get me to civilization, and I'll get myself to the airport, to the hotel." So that doesn't really answer your question about Pat McAfee, but yes, I did have that at least relationship with him.
It's also crazy. No, not really. He did my Rough and Rowdy fight. He did like called it, which was great. He introduced me. But it's crazy to think like I feel like in the last like however many years, with like the internet is the future. The internet is like, TV shows are going away. But then you see something like this happen. It's like, no, TV still rules. That is still the ultimate. That is still where you get huge fucking contracts. It's like McAfee walked away from how much money for his other sportsbook thing, 60 million, whatever it is, just to take this. I don't know. Just makes you wonder. What is
Going back to that
when
poll,
is Pick Central getting picked up?
that poll Dave put out. For as good as Pat McAfee's done him, he's a fucking star. He's one of the biggest in the game. Alex Cooper's rise, though, is stunning. I mean, she didn't play in the NFL, and I mean that's not even a question.
I think she's bigger than that's hard to say.
And McAfee?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
But it's a different demographic.
I don't know.
It's such a different demographic.
I think
the NFL's huge, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
now that I think about it, it's got to be McAfee. But I do think it's somewhat close.
But the rise, though, is what I'm talking about. Like, she was like just a regular person. He was an NFL player. He was kind of bombastic. People knew who he was. She came from like
getting bigger too. Like I feel like Cooper kind of was like, and now she's like coasting doing her show. McAfee is just like
that's true.
Up.
He gets bigger every day.
More people might know who. I mean, there are a lot of college girls, but there are probably more NFL fans. So I don't know.
Right, but I do think that there's a lot of people who know Pat McAfee might also know Alex Cooper. They might have just heard Call Her Daddy. Like a lot of those NFL. I mean, yeah, not like my dad or whatever, but I mean he does, I guess, because Barstool, but whatever. Not like the average dad, but like I think that I don't know. It probably is McAfee just because of how big the NFL is, but I think it's a debate. I mean, honestly, Jenna Marbles not anymore, but at her peak, she was like I'd heard of Jenna Marbles before I heard of Barstool. Like when I was like 14. Really? Yeah, like I just like my friends would, like there was like Jenna Marbles YouTube videos, and then I later found out I was like, oh, she worked at Barstool. But yeah, she was at her peak. I feel like ginormous.
I think I was just so uninterested in women in general that I just kind of blocked her out of my like internet altogether. But I remember like Stu Lala back in the day, because I would only read Boston.barstoolsports.com, and then like she was obviously running around there. Jenna Marbles. What I'm trying to say, Jenna Marbles was never anything to me, but apparently she's
me either.
Yeah.
Take that, Jenna. All right, then we got Chelsea Handler saying 50 Cent's penis was too big for anal. 50 Cent posted that clip. I had one takeaway from this. I had no fucking idea 50 Cent and Chelsea Handler ever dated. That was stunning news to me.
Yeah, that was one of the when I remember hearing that was 10 years ago, Pat, probably?
Yeah,
about 2010.
I remember hearing that. I thought, wow, that's an unlikely interesting couple, but seems like they really liked each other at one point. Like
they had chemistry like you would not like. I remember watching her show back in the day, and he would come on, and she was smitten, and he was smitten. Yeah. The chemistry between them was just so, because it was so weird. It's like 50 Cent, and then you have Chelsea Handler, but they hit it off like so well. I just didn't know they actually fucked until like years later, and she was like, "Oh yeah, 50 Cent used to knock the dust off this poo-tang," but apparently he was trying to put it in her hoop. Is that a thing that girls like to do? No.
In their who?
What, anal?
Yeah, that's like a very strange.
I mean, look, I'll just say it. Last week, I was in a certain situation, and I had gotten told, like, it's too big. I don't know if we can do the regular sex. I thought, it's a rough thing to hear. I hate that. I hate when you hear that because it's like, oh, shit, man. Yeah. Hoping it's a little easier. But for me, I've heard that. It definitely sucks.
Oh, my cock just too. It's like a curse. It's like, oh, my penis is just too goddamn big.
It's a good flex though, but no, good couple. Chelsea Handler is very hot. I mean, just the funny kind of funny girls do something to you,
What's your type, Jeff?
Spanish, BBL.
What's BBL?
Ass done. Her ass is done.
You want a girl with a fake ass?
Preferably. Yeah, I like
we were
Spanish chick.
When there were discussions of me and Nadu possibly having a dating show together, we would laugh at the thought of the difference in the women, the groups of women that we would each have would be strikingly different, I would say.
Yeah. It would have been a good eclectic mix, I think.
You went after
Yeah.
Ebony last time you were here, Jeff.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, she's a little, she's a little tough to break through, but yeah, she's kind of my type, like Bronx type chicks. I like that. I like Spanish chicks. It's my thing.
All right. So if you're a
Tommy,
Spanish
have you
chick
ever
out
had
there
that problem
with a
though,
fake
where
ass, hit up
where
Nadu.
girls
Uh,
says to you like you're too big? You have that problem too, I think, right?
oh yeah. You, Pat, you ever get it from a guy? Well, I know you literally get it
Literally
from a guy.
never once. No one has ever told
Really?
me. No one has ever told me my dick is too big. Not once. And I don't plan on it happening anytime
They
soon.
might just maybe they just say it to be nice.
Yeah,
True.
it could be it.
Yeah.
Pop that thing out, Jeff. Let's see what you're working with.
This would be a wild reveal if it happened.
Next up, we got Texas Speaker of the House, hammered drunk, David Fallon on the podium. Others are thinking he might be having a stroke. The Attorney General has asked him to resign, but he has not done so as of now. I have to think he wasn't just wasted. Like, there's no way you would just show up hammered drunk and do that. There had to be something going on, whether it was nerves or a stroke or something. Like, he can't be that dumb.
Yeah, I've said I don't think he was. I mean, he definitely looks visibly drunk, but I feel like someone in during the day would have kind of sensed that or noticed it. Look, I would say this: there needs to be cognitive testing, drug testing of public officials. There just has to be. We need to test these individuals. They're too powerful and they do too many things to just let them parade around and do whatever they want to do. Now, if he was having a stroke, we should, get him help. We should get him help in general. He clearly has some sort of problem here.
Fuck that. Don't get him help. Let him find the help on his own. Get him help on the taxpayer's dollar. No.
Yes, good point.
Get out of here. I think he was on pills, honestly, because that's not like a drunk. I've been very drunk and I've never like been that. Well, maybe I have been that slurry, but like to do that in
Benzos,
public,
maybe perks.
yeah, it could be something like fucking deeper than that. Was he reprimanded at all after it happened?
He was told to resign by the Attorney General.
It just sounded like he laughed at
that's
the
like a
end.
suggestion, right? He doesn't like have to quit.
I feel like it's, I don't know if it's a suggestion. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know how it works. Like maybe he's not allowed to get fired.
People
I
have
don't know
asked
how the
George
ins and outs.
Santos to resign. He hasn't.
Have you ever
Yeah,
showed
so I don't know.
drunk?
Say that again.
What?
You guys ever? What's the crazy? Have you ever been to work drunk? Like not here, just in general.
No,
I've only worked here.
no.
That's
I
dumb.
usually only get drunk at night, so I'm not at work. So yeah, not usually.
Have you, Pat?
No, I used to be forced to drink on Gentleman's Friday, but I would fake it. So I would like be like, I have to actually work after this on Barstool Breakfast, and those guys would be drunk, and I would fucking hate it. It's a terrible way to start off your week. Your workday, if you start your workday drunk, then you're hungover after lunch. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, no. Day drinking is not my specialty.
During Barstool Idol, I was handed a little thing of a pink mixture, and I thought, oh, it might be lemonade or something. I drank it. PFT handed it to me. I drank it, and I found out, oh, that's Pink Whitney. So I wasn't drunk, but kind of.
I think in general, because there's always weird politician stuff. Obviously, everyone hates politicians. I have come up with an idea where I think to solve the political system in the US is we should treat it like jury duty, where instead of like everyone who wants to be a politician is a weirdo and a freak. Like anyone who's like, oh, I want to be a congressman, like you're a weirdo. But if it was like you just got called in, randomly selected, like the average American, you had to go be a congressman for 2 years, 4 years, then we'd get some actual normal, regular people in there making decisions.
Like jury duty.
Yeah, like jury duty.
I had a strong run in like 4th to 6th grade where I was big in I wanted to be the next like George Bush when I was a kid. Like I wanted to be a politician. Then I grew up and
realized. What would have been some of your top policies?
Well, I think the first thing I would do is probably legalize all drugs. I think that would probably be a good idea. I think that would curb a lot of problems we have. But no, there's a lot of things. I don't even know where I would fucking start, to be honest. And you can't really do that much. I mean, you're kind of a slave to the system a bit with the current way we do government. But I don't want to be a politician. No interest.
Pat?
What would be my first policy?
Yeah.
Oh God. I guess just banning gay marriage. Right? I mean, that's obviously we got to get back to the nuclear family. I mean, we're a Christian country. I mean,
That
this
would
is
be objectively very funny if like we elected a gay president and then he was like, yeah, we're getting rid of gay marriage.
executive order to get rid of it.
Yeah. He's just pretending to be gay the whole time just to get elected. He's like, no, I just getting elected to do this.
Yeah, that's how I got my job here. I faked it in.
Yeah. All right, last topic. We got this massive brawl out of the O'Hare baggage claim area over, I don't know what, but airports, people are just angry. I thought the funniest part of this was the tweet. It's just from this girl or guy, Peyton, and just says, this is the fight that happened at O'Hare last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay for the ending as my mom was yelling at me to get out of there, but I did see how it all started. So just probably like this like 11-year-old girl or something that like tweeted out this video. It was an intense fight. There was some piece of shit guy like throwing haymakers at this girl. Yeah, I don't know how that many people, what could have happened where that many people ended up fighting.
A lesson. And I'm not condoning this. You should never fight anywhere, be the bigger person. But if you are going to fight at an airport, a federal location, do it in the baggage claim. And I'll tell you why. If you are in a terminal or on the plane itself, either as it's standing or moving, it is a federal crime. If you are not, let's say you're in the baggage claim, it's just a city state thing. City police come, they give you a charge, battery, bullshit charge, you're out of there. Now, if they were in the terminal or on the plane, all would have been pinched by the feds.
Interesting.
The guy who ran
guy
over
knows his crime.
Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
I said that's a guy who knows his crime with a crime podcast.
Just know, Pat, if you're ever going to do that, go to the baggage claim.
Well, I don't fly Spirit, but if I'm going to fly Spirit, I would imagine I would get into some sort of altercation just to kind of keep up with the brand if I was going to be on Spirit. But my favorite part of this video was the guy, after the guy clocked the girl, this dude came over, beeline from the left in a bag, like a camo bag. And I thought it was Eddie at first. It was like just the most Chicago guy. I wish you're doing a regular rundown so we could like pull it up and react to it. This guy came over and bear hugged this dude. It looked exactly like Ed, and then just kind of got him in like a guillotine and held him back. But the problem with these videos is you never see how they end. Like I want to see the fight. The fight video always stops after the knockout, after the initial punch. Like if there's a brawl,
well, this girl's mom dragged her away.
The girl's mom dragged the camera person away, but it's like, what about the 7 people on the ground? If you're the Chicago PD, do you even worry about it? I mean, Chicago's got some issues. I mean, they're worried about cleaning up Chirac right now. Can they even make it over to the airport? I don't know. And this is the place that our company is moving to. I just worry for the safety of everyone in Chicago, to be honest with you.
It's a good point.
I was actually very surprised at how nice Chicago. I went there. I was pretty surprised. I thought it'd be a lot worse than it was. It was pretty nice.
I think it's probably similar to New York, where people like when you live outside of it, you assume it's like this crazy war zone, but when you actually live in it, you're like, I don't know what people are talking.
I thought it was
like
quite
my parents like see like news stories and they're like, oh my God, are you safe in the city? And it's like walking to work, like it's like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, knock on wood, but like I'm sure there are parts where it's worse, but as a whole, it's okay. All right. After show. You guys got anything after show?
I got something for you to do.
What do you got?
Jeff, I heard rumblings around the office that you might be jumping ship from here. This could be completely false after your contract is done. Is that true?
I don't know who's saying that.
No, there's no truth to that at all.
No. I mean, contracts
that's not very convincing.
Contract starting. I mean, we'll see. I don't agree completely to anything. You got to see what happens.
When's your contract up?
Say that again.
When's your contract up?
Pretty soon. We started Gaz and I chatting a little bit about that. I think it's up in August.
Would you ever move to Chicago?
No, I just bought this house.
Oh, you're in Philly still. So you don't want to do Philly, you don't want to do New York, you don't want to do Chicago, you're just trying to chill in Philly.
No, because and this is pretty big for me. They recently started putting stuff into my show. My show does quite well. A lot of people don't know that. I have kind of a good brand. We're putting more into it. We just brought in clip people. I'm trying to take that show even higher. So they kind of don't bother me. I get decent numbies, if you will, so they don't really intervene. So no, listen, I think any good businessman always puts his ducks in a row and looks at every option. But no, I think if I'm treated correctly, I'll be fine. But Pat, let me ask you, don't you always look at every contract you have and say, let me look and evaluate this?
I usually just blindly agree.
Yeah.
No, I look at them all. I just had one, so I got a little time left on mine. And I'm happy, but no, I get it, Nadu. I just got a little worried about you. You're down there on an island, and you hear rumblings. Is Jeff going to stay? Is Jeff going to go? I mean, your podcast rips on TikTok. I don't know what the numbers are on, YouTube or Apple or this, but
I would say we probably, and this is no mess, I would say out of all the brands, I would say we YouTube wise and audio do quite well, quite surprisingly well. Top 20 probably. And again, I pushed it only on my own. So yeah, I'm proud of it. I want to know who says that though. I know you're not going to tell me, but what the fuck?
Well, it's a code of honor. I can't tell you who says
You're
that.
worried about me and you're telling me this?
No, I'm not worried
There
about
might be
you.
there might be a rat, Jeff. You know what they do to rats?
I know who's behind this though, so I'm not too. I don't need to know. Who you said?
Yeah.
My thought would probably be a certain individual that I've had issues with in the past, but
Who could that be?
we'll just say his initials are RB or TM.
All right.
But I'm not.
Robbie Fox.
Certain
right.
Irish person.
Well, what is your guys' relationship right now? I feel like you were good for a while.
Oh no, we're good. I'm just breaking his stones. No, we're good. I mean, he takes shots at me, I take shots at him. We're in a decent place. He has improved. I'll give him that. I never thought I'd see the day where he would be on the air with me at some point, and we did some basketball content. So,
Man of honor.
Absolutely.
All right. That's all I got. See you guys. You guys anything else?
How you doing, Tommy? I just asked you. You good otherwise? Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Otherwise, just going through a move right now. A little bit stressed with that.
How are your allergies? I know you're a big.
My allergies are fine. Surprisingly, people would think I have worse seasonal allergies than I do. It's the winter that gets me. The dust mites inside. Pollen and stuff, I'm unfazed by.
One thing also I wanted to be when I was a kid, I also wanted to be a meteorologist. I was big into weather. So I'm a big pollen count guy. I want to make sure the pollen is where it is. Do you ever look into the pollen count, Tommy?
No, never. Again, pollen, I'm invincible to pollen.
Shout out to you. Great to hear.
Yeah.
I know you're a big medication guy. So.
Yeah, I am a big medication guy. I do take Zyrtec. So that probably has something.
Shout out Zyrtec D.
That's for decongestion. Zyrtec I just use for seasonal. Anyway, that's talking Zyrtec. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a last rundown of the week.